God, noisy or what? It's in that tree somewhere. Oh, there it is. Wow, what a view. What a view. Just perched up on that branch there. Can you see him there? Right above my head. I will never tire of watching red kites. Hello there and welcome to another walk. I'm in a big field here at the moment, and that's singularly appropriate because last night I went into London for a special screening of the film A Year in a Field. It's probably one of the best things I've seen in a long time. The premise is quite simple. A documentary maker, BAFTA award-winning documentary maker called Christopher Morris, who lives in Cornwall, in fact just around Penwith, sort of area I grew up for the first 10 years of my life, used to quite regularly go on dog walks, and he would pass a big standing stone in the middle of a field called Buscow and Ross. Everyone knows it locally as the Long Stone. And he started taking photographs of it, and after time he started making little videos involving it. And then he had the idea one day, probably inspired by reading the book A Year in the Life of a Field, which is a wonderful book if you've never read it, to maybe document a year in the life of this standing stone in the field that the stone was in. And during the course of, filming it through storms and through night and day and the passing of the seasons and the agricultural machinery going by and the foxes and badgers and insects, it's just a wonderful documentary. But this was all set against the background of a lot of environmental disasters around the world, and he couldn't help compare the tranquility of the field and the fact that this stone had been around for nearly 4,000 years and had seen the whole of human civilization and history unfold around it. And the film turned into a kind of climate change film, warning us of where we're going and how we can change. It's poignant, it's beautifully photographed, amazingly all shot on an iPhone, and all the people who volunteered, the soundscapes, the music, the Foley, all donated it for free. And the film has almost no carbon footprint. It's absolutely amazing. I was stunned by it. It's an hour and a half long and it just seemed to fly by. So if you get a chance to see A Year in a Field by Christopher Morris, and the producer was there last night as well, lovely Cornish chap called Denzel Monk, who I exchanged a few words of Cornish with, and do go and see it. If you get a chance to see it. It's one of the best things I've seen in a long time. Okay, promo over. Now back to the normal stuff. Now I've just spotted this mushroom growing in the field. Here's what it looks like, and it looks just like the mushroom you buy in a shop, doesn't it? But I can tell you now, just from experience, this is the mushroom that's responsible for more poisonings than any other mushroom in the UK. And I'll tell you how we show you what it is. If I give it a scratch a minute with my nail, let's come back and look at that in about a minute. Right, can you see that bright yellow that's formed there? That's because this mushroom is called a yellow stainer, and although it looks quite like a field mushroom or a horse mushroom or one of those that you'd want to eat, you wouldn't want to eat this one because it's toxic. I don't think it will kill you, but it won't do you any good, and it's an easy way to check it. Like I said, just break it or damage it in any way, and if it goes bright yellow, avoid. Other little signs that you've got a yellow stainer on your hand. They do have a curious smell. They are mushroomy, but there's almost like a kind of disinfectant-y sort of smell to them, which this one quite definitely had. And they've also got a kind of, how do you explain it? Even though it's a dome on the top, it's not quite round, it's almost squarish. That's usually a bit of a giveaway as well. Can't guarantee it, but it's nearly always the case. Just be careful and stay safe. If in doubt, don't eat it. Well, that's an unusual form of fungus. Not quite sure what that is. Don't think it's edible though. I'm having a fair amount of success this year with hagstones amongst all the flints that have been kicked up by the tractor. I've just found yet another. Yep, there is definitely a hole. If I can hold that in a way there. There you are, see, there's definitely a hole that goes all the way through. So another one for the collection. Amazing. What a good year. Now that was quite clearly a big hagstone at one time. You can see how smooth the hole is there, and the top half of that's been snapped off by the plough. I did have a look around the other stones nearby, but I can't find its counterpart. I can't find the other half. Shame, I would have glued them back together. Okay, so I've given this hagstone a wash and got the worst of the mud off, I think. It just suddenly occurred to me, I wonder what it would look like if I put it through a dishwasher. Would it really, really clean it up? I think it's worth having a go to find out. So, we're going to put it in with the dishes, and I'll come back later and see how it goes.
1 hour later.
Well, here we are. It's out of the dishwasher, and that is it. It's sparkly clean. There isn't a spot of mud on it anywhere, or any dirt. So it's always going to be some weird colours because it's stained over the years, but the hole is very pronounced. Nice. Well, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit like. And, oh, doodle pip.